This is Still Here, Still Queer Now What, your companion through LGBTQ plus midlife. I'm Dr. Paul Taylor-Pitt. I'm the author of Still Here, Still Queer Now What, the book, coming everywhere 21st of October. There's lots on the list today. I do actually have a list. I had a list because I know I'm not going to remember everything. Lots on the list. So, too many things, not enough time. So let's just dive into it. I hope you're well today. It's Monday morning. I can't believe we're almost in the middle of August, but anyway, let's just keep going. Firstly, feedback on feedback. The good. Thank you all so much for the lovely comments about Joseph's episode. The general feedback that I got about Joseph was, isn't he lovely? He's wonderful. Oh, he's amazing. And yes, I agree. I could not agree more. He is wonderful. So thank you for that. Lots of feedback about the little mini episode last week, particularly Madonna and Kylie should not mix. I mean, I know, like, have you met the internet? I know this is how things work, but I mean, seriously, people, have a word with yourselves. I've done, what's this, maybe episode 74, something like that? Think about all the stuff I've covered in these episodes. We've covered homophobia, transphobia, we've covered conversion abuse, we've covered coming out. All of those guests who've shared their stories, their difficult, challenging, optimistic, hopeful, traumatic stories. I've never had so many comments on an episode as I have for the one where I've said Madonna and Kylie should not do a duet. Now, I get it. It's an important topic. But, I mean, they're still coming. People are still commenting. And they range from people who've just said, yeah, you're right. I agree. They're just different. You know, that's fine. Whatever. I'm not looking for people necessarily to agree, but wow, people disagree. Wow. And they've come hard. I mean, people saying, like, you know, ranging from just shut up to you're wrong and we don't want your opinion, and all of which just made me really laugh. And then some where it felt like, yeah, nice opinion. Where did that come from? So, you know, when someone sees something on the internet and they just copy because it sounds interesting. There was opinions of the flavor of, well, look, here's another man telling women what to do. Like, really, whatever. Have you met me? Other people, like, just using it as an opportunity to talk about something completely unrelated. Like, oh, I felt this way about Mamma Mia, the musical, you know, just like wild. So I guess what I'm learning from this is people don't comment on important things on the internet. People comment on frivolity. Rage baiting works, even though this wasn't even rage baiting. This was just an opinion about Madonna and Kylie. And yeah, people will use it to work out their stuff in the comments. So it's really entertained me. It's made me smile. It's made me laugh. And now I might just start, like, you can see how this is tempting for people. Like, maybe this is the origin story of Katie Hopkins. Maybe there's a moment where you go, oh, this is how you get comments. Just saying things that people really disagree with. So what else can I say that people will really disagree with? I'm going to have to give this some thought and come up with my list of controversial topics. But controversial topics that only really gay people would have a reaction to. Like, okay, here's one. Britney should still be in the conservatorship. I know we campaigned and we said free Britney, but fucking hell, what have we done to that woman? Whenever I see, like, I used to see Britney on Instagram and go, oh, look, she's living her best life. Whenever I open Instagram and I see Britney spinning in the floor, I just think, oh no, something bad's going to happen. And I'm not suggesting for a second that the patriarchy should ever win, but I think maybe Britney was a bit safer when someone was looking out for her. I don't know. That's controversial. Okay, we'll start there. What else? There's a whole, oh God, why am I doing this? This was supposed to be a quick episode and I've got a list of stuff to get through and I've got not much time. There's a whole bunch of people who I cannot tell apart. And I do not know why they're famous. And I have no idea what they bring to the world. And so I'm just going to rattle off a few names. I realize that this is not this is not a professional take. All this does is it makes me sound really old. But I just want to say, I don't understand why Dua Lipa, Olivia Dean, to an extent, Sabrina Carpenter, Zara Larsson, Tate McRae. I don't even know if that's a real one. I'm just making them up now. Who are all these people? Who are all these pop stars who are doing like stadium tours? Who are they? And what do they bring? I don't understand it. To me, they feel very generic, like they're all the same person making the same music in different wigs. Don't know who they are. I did not think this through. This is really bad. Oh, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is so overrated. I think there's maybe 2 Taylor Swift songs that I enjoy. The rest, I could not care less. I think she's bland. She's generic. She's like when I was a kid, a treat used to be a sugar sandwich, like white bread with butter and then a layer of sugar. That's what I think of Taylor Swift. She's like a hit of something and then you feel a bit sick afterwards. Oh God, is this career suicide? Is this terrible? What else? Don't get Jane McDonald. I don't know whether people genuinely think she's talented or whether there's like a kind of knowing camp, like, oh, Jane McDonald, she's really cool. And I feel like it's the latter, but then I see people really like raving and going wild for Jane McDonald and paying money, like actual money to go to shows that she's doing. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Jane McDonald to me is someone who would make an appearance on, some kind of cameo on a comedy show where she would pop up and people would be like, oh, Jane McDonald. Nothing against her. I'm sure she's a lovely person. I just don't understand the level of mania that exists around her and her career. I mean, good for her. Good on her. She's got a very select, very niche audience and it's predominantly gay men, I guess. Just don't get it. Don't understand. Okay, I mean, I might cut this whole section out because, to be honest, I'm not sure what it adds other than potential for me to just be utterly cancelled, but that's fine. Good news. Let's move on to some good news. What am I working out this morning? Let's move on to some good news. Tour dates. Okay, I want to talk about book tour dates and maybe even let's talk about book tour date merch. How's this for a t-shirt that some of you might want to end up wearing? That sounds weird. How's this t-shirt going to look on your floor? Book tour dates. So I've been resisting announcing book tour dates and I realize that it's all just been a delay. It's all been procrastination. I think partly because last year we announced a whole bunch of dates and then had to go back crawling on our knees and cancel all of them. And it just felt terrible. It felt so horrible to do that. And so I think I've been resisting saying, hey, there's going to be some events, there's going to be some book tour dates, because part of me is like, please don't have to cancel them again. We won't have to cancel them. This publisher knows what they're doing. This publisher is on it. I know I'm going off on another tangent, but the book has shown up on Audible, written by me, narrated by me. It's 10 hours long. I haven't even recorded it yet, and it's there. So this publisher is actually one step ahead of where I am, which is where they should be, I guess. Anyway, book tour. Firstly, I just have to send so much love and thanks to Neil, my tour manager. I will always think of him as my tour manager. He's so much more than that. Neil is, if there was a certificate for herding cats, he should get it. Neil is chief cat shepherd because trying to deal with a random bunch of bookshops whose job is not to organize tours but to sell books, and that's absolutely what they should be doing, and maybe checking emails a bit more frequently. It takes so long to get any kind of response from some people. So Neil, I don't know how he's doing it. It's like Minority Report. Maybe he has some kind of like holographic thing where he's like scrolling through all these things, because I don't know how he keeps all this stuff going. Look how much I'm resisting talking about tour dates. Anyway, I just want to say another huge thank you to Neil, because Neil has made all of this happen. And I think we're now at the stage where there's enough tour dates to say, hey, there's a tour happening, so let's talk about them. And there's a second tier, which is all the places who've said yes, love you, but we haven't quite confirmed dates yet. And I've been saying, oh, let's wait till then, let's wait till it. But in a way, it's like, come on, time's ticking. So there's maybe three parts to this. The confirmed parts, I just think I'm overthinking this. The confirmed parts, the the ones who've said yes and we're just working out a date, and then some that are still to be worked out somehow. So let's call this an exclusive. Are you ready? I'm going to let you know some tour date. Look, I've got my little organizer. Where are we? Okay, tour dates. Well, actually, so why can I not just make this simple? There's going to be a couple of things, I guess, in the lead up to the launch where I'm still classing it as like book tour because I'm doing it in service of the book, but it's not completely related because the book won't be out yet. So things like tonight, I'm doing an open mic thing, partly because I want to just practice getting out and reading, performing some stuff again. So, things like that. I'm kind of classing it as like the warm up, like a work in progress thing. And there's going to be another one of those on the 20th of September. I mean, this is quite niche. I don't know that most of you will come to this, but it's at the London Leather Bound Showcase, which is organised by the London Leather Men. And I'm going to be doing a piece I've written called Pink Defiance, which anyway, too much information. Oh, actually, no, side note. Why would you want to come to a book tour? Well, firstly, it's a good thing to do. You support local bookshops, support queer bookshops, buy books, support authors, and you get to meet people. Like my book events are not just going to be me like yapping on like this, because you can get this on a podcast. The book events are going to be spaces where you can come, you can have conversations with people. There was such a common theme in my book of people saying, I don't know where to meet other people like me. How do you make friends when you're at this stage of life? Or where are all the other queer people? Well, they're going to come to these events. So come to support the bookshops, come to support each other, come for the community, and then come for the stuff that I'm going to be saying, because obviously it's going to be about the book. So you'll get to hear about that. You'll get to ask questions about it. You'll get to maybe get a reading or two from the book. And then last time around, I made a decision that for each event, I would write something specific for that place, for that moment. So I have my notebook of pieces, which this came from Trevor at Adorn the Common, which I love. And what I decided was that when I perform each of these pieces, I'll then put them online and people can then download them. And I'd called it, and call me Mystic Meg, Confessions on a Book Tour. So it seems appropriate that this next era is going to be Confessions too. And there were some pieces here that I did for things like the Common Press and Gay Professionals Network. Anyway, those will still go online. And then whatever I write for each of the up and coming events, you'll also be able to have access to those through Confessions 2, which means actually I'm going to have to do another little photo shoot. Look how good that one was. That was me doing the Confessions one. I'm going to have to, okay. Suddenly my Amazon search history is going to contain lots of veils. Why can I not just give you these dates? Right, okay. Stop the distractions. And then I also need to tell you about who I'm supporting on the tour. So, 20th of September, London Leatherbound Showcase. 21st of October is the official launch date of the book, and that evening is the friends and family launch party at Chats Palace. More information coming on that. It's invite only, it's VIP, but I think of the people who listen to the podcast as VIPs, so watch this space. Saturday the 24th of October, I'll be at Kemp Town Books in Brighton. That's going to be a matinee event. I'm really excited about these. Some of the events are going to be evenings and some of them are matinees because, I'm middle-aged. I love a matinee. So 24th of October, Kemp Town Books, 1 p.m. You can come along, have a coffee, sit and have a chat, get your book signed and still be home in time for Strictly, which is what we all want to do. 29th of October in London at the Common Press. That's going to be the official London launch event for the book in the evening. 7th of November, special event in Cumbria with Kitchen Cabaret, who are just the most lovely people. I mean, they're just amazing. Last year, They were so supportive, and I thought we have to go back. So this is going to be a charity event in support of Cumbria Pride, hosted by a local poet, and we're going to just have a lovely time. It's going to be another matinee event. It was going to be an evening event, but it turns out it's the same as the village fireworks. So I'm going to hang around for the village fireworks. So yeah, 7th of November, come to Cumbria. 18th of November, Somerville Books in Aberdeen, which I'm thinking of as my homecoming. So I don't know, even thinking about that one gets me a bit emotional. I'm not sure how that one is going to go, but I'm excited to be coming back to Aberdeen. 19th of November in Edinburgh at Type Wronger. And then, so yeah, side note, we're trying to get something confirmed in Glasgow on the 20th of November. It's proving quite difficult, so that may or may not happen, but watch this space. And then the next confirmed one after that is the 4th of February for LGBTQ History Month at Pages of Hackney in London. So those are the confirmed ones so far. Others who we're just trying to nail down for dates, and as soon as these dates get confirmed, we'll let you know. I'm going to be at Outhouse in Dublin, Kirkdale Books in London, the Margate Bookshop, obviously in Margate, and doing something with the fantastic people at Gaberystwyth Books in Aberystwyth. So those are all to be confirmed. Neil is doing the Lord's work trying to nail those down. There's also Category Is in Glasgow, and we were trying to get that booked for November. It looks like it might not be possible. If that's not possible, we might do that one next summer, because I'm seeing this as being like a 12-month series of events. What I noticed, and I think what I was trying to do last year, was just get them all done, like everything done between the book launch and Christmas. Whereas I think the delay in the book coming out has made me maybe a little bit more patient, or given a bit more space to breathe. So what I'm thinking is there will be some events around about the launch, just to make sure that people know it's happening. And then obviously Christmas comes, so let's not add more to your social calendar. We're going to try and do some stuff in January. I'm thinking about doing some stuff maybe with Queerwell in January around, New Year, New Queer, New Year is a time of reflection and planning. So that might be a good opportunity to do some stuff there. Obviously, February, LGBT History Month, we're going to be doing some stuff there. We've got Pages of Hackney booked, and then there'll be some other events coming up. We've got Pride next year. So I'm kind of seeing this as like a 12-month cycle of events. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, maybe, that we might also do something in Amsterdam, in Copenhagen, and in Berlin. And we've got some feelers out there. Where else? I'll really tell you about these other ones, because they're kind of secret. That'll do for now. That'll do, Pig. Tour. It's happening. There's going to be a page on the website, stillherestillqueernowwhat.com, probably /tour, where they're going to be listed, and you'll start to be able to book them. We haven't got to that stage yet, because this is the first, like you listening to this in your ears right now are the first people in the world to hear these dates. So it's happening. It's happening. Come and meet me in the bookstore. It would be lovely to see people there. And yeah, how exciting. How exciting is this? The other really exciting thing, and again, this was another reason that I wanted to wait until it was kind of confirmed and agreed. But what I wanted to do through these events is not just support bookstores and support queer spaces, but also to support charitable organisation. And I'm very, very excited that we've managed to get a big thumbs up from the Rosie Jones Foundation. They're going to be our charity partner for the 12-month book tour, which is very exciting. Thank you to Aislinn O'Connor for just being the most wonderful person to work with. Like, Aislinn is the co-founder, the chief exec of the Rosie Jones Foundation. She is wonderful. The reason I wanted to work with the Rosie Jones Foundation is partly because of lived experience. I am married to a man with cerebral palsy. If you hadn't come across the Rosie Jones Foundation before, they are there to empower and uplift the lives of people with cerebral palsy. Dan was diagnosed with cerebral palsy quite late in life. He was in his 40s. If you want to hear more about that story, we actually recorded a podcast episode about it a couple of years ago. I did a podcast series called Exploring the Heart of Change, and he was my first guest. And Dan talked really openly about what it was like to receive a fairly life-changing diagnosis in midlife. And what really inspires me about Dan, and inspiring is such a horrible he is inspiring, but not in a kind of patronizing way. He inspires me every day. He inspires me to make myself better. And what I've seen through the kind of changes that Dan's been through since having his cerebral palsy diagnosis is like an acceptance of himself and a refusal to fit in ways that maybe he had before, or he had felt like he had to before. And so when I heard about the Rosie Jones Foundation, I thought, yeah, I would love to support this. Also, it's very intersectional. So Rosie herself, she's a fantastic comedian. She is also a queer comedian. And I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had about the intersection between sexuality, disability, and aging, and the way that these combine into layer upon layer of invisibility. And so I wanted to make sure that through these events and, whatever I do, whether it's an online event, spoiler, coming up soon, or in person, it's an opportunity to raise the profile of the Rosie Jones Foundation and also raise some money. And Aisling and I have been talking about doing, like, having a specific funding pot somewhere that they hold, which any money that we raise through these events can then be decided by the community on how it should be used. So it's very exciting. Excited. So thank you, Aisling. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, the foundation, for being our partner on this tour. It's amazing. So I've gone so over my 10 minutes. What a surprise. This week, exciting stuff. I'm going to be in the recording studio for 3 days, recording the audiobook. Can't wait. Very excited. I want to get some of that throat spray that Madonna uses in Truth or Dare, but I've never known what that was. Never really understood what it was. So if anyone knows, let me know. Coming up on the podcast this week, on Wednesday, you're going to get the best time. CJ Dabara is going to be the guest on the podcast. They are an incredible force of nature and very, like, similar to what I was just talking about. We have conversations about sexuality, disability, neurospiciness, queerness. Like, CJ is just such a fantastic guest. CJ is a journalist, an archivist, an activist, an author, and just a general bloody wonderful person. So you'll get to meet CJ on Wednesday if you haven't already. Okay, that's enough. That'll do. I'm done for the week. I'll see you next week when I can tell you all the things that went wrong at the audiobook recording and tell you all the things that went right at the recording. But look out for all those tour dates coming up on the website. Book yourself in. It would be lovely to see you. Thank you for listening. Love you. Enjoy your week.